Hello and welcome to part 2 of our self-awareness series. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Esther. I'm a mental health practitioner and a metaphysical therapist. And in this space, we unpack layers to guide us through healing and self-empowerment. In part 1, we explored what self-awareness is and why it's such a powerful tool for personal empowerment and growth.
This is Soul Sense Empowerment. Heal your mind, elevate your spirit, empower you.
In this video, we look into the barriers and obstacles, the things that silently block you from truly knowing yourself. And here is the truth. You can't fix what you are not aware of. These obstacles don't show up with warning signs. They hide in plain sight, and unless you shine a light on them, they will quietly run the show. They show up in how you behave, how you think, and how you feel. So let's get to it. Obstacle number 1, limiting beliefs. The invisible scripts. This is without a doubt the most talked about and the most misunderstood obstacle, limiting beliefs. These are subconscious stories you've accepted as truth, even though they are not. And they silently shape your decisions, your self-worth, and the way you show up in your life. You might recognize some of these as statements, as beliefs, as things you think. I'm not good enough. Success is for other people, not for me. This is just who I am. I always mess things up, or it's too late for me to change. These beliefs are usually formed through childhood experiences, especially the bad one or the traumatic ones, cultural conditioning, past trauma, or repeated messages from society. And here is the thing. They don't just live in your head, they appear in your habits. Think about that for a second. They appear in your habits. And limiting beliefs aren't just on individual level, they are also collective. For example, there's a common belief that Kenyans are always late. I can say that because I'm Kenyan and I've seen this belief play out so often. It's a culturally conditioned narrative. Who knows where it started? Probably around the same time we stopped telling time by shadows and sunsets and started telling it with a watch. The point is, these beliefs, whether individual or collective, filter your reality. And unless you recognize them, they'll keep running the show. Obstacle number 2, cognitive biases. The mental shortcuts. Our brains are brilliant, but they're also incredibly lazy. To save energy and time, they use shortcuts called cognitive biases. These will help you make decisions quickly, but they're not always accurate. But if a lion walks in here, I'm not going to sit down, analyze the situations, and decide what to do. No, my brain will do that in a split second, and I'm out the door. That's useful. But when it comes to emotional or social situations, these shortcuts can seriously distort your perception. There are some common biases to look out for. Say, confirmation biases, where you look for information that supports what you already believe. I'm late. It's fine. Kenyans are always late. Then there's a negativity bias. You remember failures more than wins. Say, for example, you fail a maths test and you forget you're good at music or art. As humans, we tend to maximize our failures and minimize our achievements. Then there's a projection bias where you assume others think the way you do. For example, someone doesn't reply to your message, you assume they must be ignoring you. But the fact might be they got a phone call that was important. So you change your perspective. when you become aware of these biases, you stop reacting and you start consciously choosing. Then there's the self-serving bias. You blame external factors for internal mistakes. For example, you missed a deadline. You blame everything else, but not your procrastination or time management skills. Self-awareness is about noticing when your brain is playing tricks on you and gently choosing a different story. And you don't have to fight your brain or your mind. You just need to understand it. And that's how you take your power back. Obstacle number 3, emotional blind spots. These are the parts of ourselves we've disconnected from, often for protection. Maybe as a child or growing up, you heard things like, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Don't question me, or don't sass me, young lady or young man. In these situations, what do you do as a child, or what do you learn? Or what beliefs do you create in the recesses of your mind? You bury those feelings and emotions in order to stay safe. If I don't speak, I won't be beaten. But here is the hard truth. These emotions don't disappear. They simply go underground, waiting for moments to erupt. Like when your mandazis won't cooperate and suddenly you are trashing your whole kitchen. I done that. And then I realized it was never about the mandazis. It's about the unprocessed anger or sadness I pushed down years ago. And guess what? It chose to appear in this exact moment. Self-awareness means being honest with yourself, especially about the feelings you've avoided or pushed down. Obstacle number 4, living in nostalgia, the past self trap. This is a subtle one, but it's also very powerful, and we do it all the time. And sometimes it's not the pain holding you back, it's the comfort of the past, where you are emotionally rooted in a version of yourself from the past, when life was easier, safer, and more exciting. And now everything feels a little off in comparison. I had a client who kept saying, I miss my old me. I used to be so fearless. And sometimes I feel that too. I used to feel I was fearless. Now I'm not. And that's it's not just about remembering the past, it's living it to measure who we are now. We like romanticize the good old times and without intention, disconnect from the present moment and the present growth. And nostalgia is not always about joy. I think it's grief in disguise. Grieving who we used to be before life changed, before the pain, before the responsibilities, before the disappointment. But here is the healing part. When you grieve the past with awareness, you create space for your present self to emerge. Last but not least, obstacle number 5, identity attachment. The mask you forgot you are wearing. Sometimes the biggest obstacle to self-awareness is the identity you've built to survive. Maybe in your family or in your circle, you've been called the strong one, the helper, the achiever, the therapist. And now, when it's no longer serving you, you can't let go of that role. You're not faking it. It's just that at some point, your role became your reality. But here's the question. Who are you without the mask, without the title, without that responsibility? Self-awareness invites you to ask, is this who I really am, or just someone I learned or was taught to be? And that question alone can change your life. So that's it. Those are the big 5 obstacles: limiting beliefs, cognitive biases, emotional blind spots, nostalgic living, identity attachment. You don't need to fix them all at once, in a day or in a week or even a month. You just need to start seeing them, noticing them, and without judgment. So in part 3, we are going to put awareness into action. I'll walk you through simple, powerful tools you can use every day to reconnect with yourself and strengthen that self-awareness mental muscle. And if this video speaks to you, give it a like, share it, and leave a comment below. And if you're interested in creating space for deeper work, whether for yourself, your team, or your community, I host deep dive workshops on these topics and more. So get in touch. For now, I send you light and love in gratitude. I'll see you in part 3. You don't want to miss it. Bye for now.